Welcome back to Titan Academy. In this video, we will cover the media options for Titan Forms version 2.0. We will discuss media images, photo gallery, embedding video, image animation, and finally, the use of an iframe within a Titan Forms 2.0 project. Let's take a look at the media image option. To add an image to your layout, go to the plus on the left. Under Media, select the Image option. That's what I have added here. When you add the image, you can either choose an image from your library, you can get one from Salesforce, you can upload an image from your computer, or you can set the image to pull from a public image URL. Here, I have added this image to my library, and I'm displaying it. This is static. You can also map images to this field from within Salesforce. A couple of different approaches that we could use to do that. One is we could get a photo from a rich text field that's saved in Salesforce, or we could get a URL from within Salesforce that is of a public image. Let's show you how that works. Here in my Salesforce environment, I have two fields. One is a rich text field called Photo Rich Text Account. That contains a cut and pasted image of a bicycle. The other is a URL field, Photo URL Account. This contains a URL link to a publicly available image. We'll go ahead and click on that here, and it downloads. If you are to use a URL for mapping, the image must be set on the hosting site to publicly visible. In my Titan project, I've got two buttons, one called Get Rich Text Photo, the other one Get URL Photo. And behind each of these, I've added a Salesforce Action. One is to pull the value for that image from the rich text field. So let's take a look at this one and how it works. This is my number one account, Get the Rich Text Photo. This is a get. We were pulling from account, it's on user action. The conditions are the account ID is equal to this static account ID. This is just for testing purposes. The key here is in the mapping. Let's look at what we mapped. I've mapped that image element, E3, to the field Photo Rich Text Account. When I click that button, that get will run, and it will replace the existing image in that media element with whatever is in this Photo Rich Text Account field. We'll go ahead and cancel out of here. On my other button, where we're calling Get the Photo from the URL, we're likewise calling a Salesforce Action. Only this Salesforce Action gets from that same account a different field. And we map to that image that public URL of an image. Let's go ahead and look at how this works in practice. If I preview my project, the media image loads with the default that I had set, which is the Titan image. Now, if we want to get that rich text photo, which remember is this one of this bicycle, we'll press this Get Rich Text Photo button. It will call that from Salesforce, and that image is now displayed. If we want to display the other bicycle image, the one that sits behind this public URL right here, I'll click Get URL Photo, and there you go. Next, let's look at the image gallery. To add a gallery, look in Media, find the gallery right here, drop it onto the layout. A gallery is meant to display a series of pictures. This can be done either static, with images that we upload in the same way as we did, or similar way that we did for the single media image. This is just choosing from your library or uploading, or you could do dynamic values mapped from Salesforce. Here, what I've done is I've selected from the source the account object. The conditions are this photo URL field is not empty. And in my sample Salesforce, I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 URLs of public images. And we map for the original image to the URL from that photo URL account field. Let's have a look at this in our preview. This should bring back 5 records of 5 different images. There's one, There's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. I'll go ahead and close these previews. You can also embed videos in a Titan Web project. A couple of options for that. Again, go to the plus, go to media. You can embed videos from either YouTube or Vimeo. In this example, I've embedded a YouTube video. This is very simple. Drop the element on the canvas, on the configuration, enter in the link field a link to the YouTube video that you want to display. Same as with the other elements. You can either do a hard-coded URL or you can get data from Salesforce and map to this element. Here, we've just used a static URL. Let's have a look. I go to the preview. Here's my video. Click it and it plays. I'll close this preview now. Next, let's look at animation. The animation element allows you to display one or more images on your Titan Web project in an animated fashion. To add animation to your page, simply click on plus, go to media, and it's actually the second option right here. I've added one with several images configured, so let's look at how this works. In the configuration, animation settings, go to edit mapping. Here is where you select one or more images and then select what style of animation you want them to do. For example, I have selected 3 images from my library. You could also map them from Salesforce, same as with the other elements. You could upload from your desktop or pull from a public URL. But here we're just going to use elements from my library. You choose the desired animation. Let's make some changes here. A bouncing entrance, bounce in. Maybe you want to change this to a bounce out. For the second image, let's leave this as back in right, and let's change this to back out up. Actually, let's make that back out down. And for the third one, let's do another bouncing in animation. Bounce in up. And let's change the out animation to bounce out down. I'll apply that. Save the changes. And I have added a button to toggle the animation. Here in the buttons action, we've added an animated interactivity node, selected our animation elements, and we want to go to the next step. So let's take a look at that. If we go ahead and preview, so there's our first image. We want to toggle the animation. Click this button. There comes the second. Notice the first image bounced out. The second one came in as we had displayed. Now for the third. And there you go. Finally, let's look at the iframe component. To add an iframe component to your project, go to the plus, go to media. You will find the iframe component right here. You will need to configure the component with what URL to display. So in the component settings, you can either set the link as a static link, or you can pull from Salesforce, same as done with the other elements. Here, I have set up another Titan project that we will pull in and display in an iframe. A caveat to note here is that you cannot just display any website in an iframe. The administrator, the owner of the site that you want to display, must allow for that site to be displayed in an iframe. Let's say, for example, you're seeing the preview here because this project that I'm displaying in the iframe allows for iframe displays. But let's say, for example, that I try to display a different site, such as Google. We won't get a preview because Google does not permit its search page to be displayed in an iframe without a special setup. Let's change that back. We'll go ahead and preview my project again, and you should see this other Titan project load in the iframe within this one. And there you go. That is the use of an iframe component in Titan Forms version 2.0. This has been a summary video of the media options that are available to you. For more detailed instructions on the setup of these individual components, please see the Titan Academy. And that is how it's done.